Daddy eats lost. Daddy eats lost. Daddy eats lost. Munch, munch, munch.
Hello and welcome to Daddy Eats Last, where we discuss the challenges of being a man in the modern society and, well, you know, the COVID-19 world we're all operating in at the moment. Me, a little bit more than Ryan and Maddie. Anyway, I don't even know what the hell that even means. I'm Kane, and joining me tonight is only Ryan, because Maddie is dusting up his house for a house valuation tomorrow. How are you, Ryan?
Yeah, good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, good. I wasn't sure because Maddie texted us to let us know that he won't be here because he's dusting up his house for valuation. I wasn't sure if it was the cubby or his actual house. I think it was his actual house.
I don't know that the cubby's even finished enough for evaluation yet, is it?
We will have to get an update on that next week in episode 100 of Daddy Eats Last.
All right, that's exciting. But yes, doing well here. Probably for the first time in 4 or 5 months, it's better to be in London than it is in Melbourne. So can't complain.
We're in lockdown version 2.0, which is much like version 1.0, to be honest, except people are being, more dickish this time around. They're just ignoring things. People trying to, sneak in interstate. People having birthday parties, and people, in all honesty, the day that we went back into lockdown at 1:30 a.m., there, police, went to a house in Dandenong where some ambos had seen people ordering at 1:30 a.m. like 20 boxes of KFC, jotted down the registration number, provided to the cops. Cops went to the house. There's 18 people there having like a party. Another location, people had sex workers around, so they're boning some hookers, which is why this all started again, because people were boning security guards. Man, we kind of get what we deserve sometimes in life, and man, some people do some dumb shit.
It's a little bit, but I think it's for at least the next year. There's going to be pockets all over the world that's going to be going through it. Second waves, doing silly things. It's, sometimes you give an inch and people run a mile. It's probably going to play out that way for a very long time.
I think it's nice. There's part of me thinks it's nice that the government actually trusts that people do the right thing. It's nice that they trust that we'll do the right thing, because we just don't as a whole. On the whole, people just do some dumb shit.
Yeah, I think it's just the reality of it. I expecting that there'll be some form of a second wave over here. I mean, the solace is not living in America, though. At the end of the day.
That is true, because the dumb shit happens at the presidency level over there.
Yes, it does.
Anyway, COVID-19 has meant simplification. You moving over to the UK has meant simplification of your life. So I thought it was a good topic tonight. The different ways people are simplifying their lives to adapt to the situation of COVID-19, but also, I guess more broadly, some of the things which went through, kind of rippled through the world last year with, or maybe the year before, even Marie Kondo, and simplifying your life and making it easier. You've certainly taken some steps towards simplifying the business side of your things recently. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. So I've been probably a big fan of minimalism for, I don't know, probably since 2017. Really trying to, live with less. And this year, a big goal was to simplify things, as you said, on the business front. So across a lot of portfolio activity, trying to really focus that. And get that a bit tighter. So yeah, it's been a busy 6 months of doing that. I think one of the silver linings of COVID is that people are realizing that they can live with a little bit less and enjoy some simple pleasures. We'll be going out for brunch after this, and it's the first brunch in 4 months, and it's just insane how excited I am about that.
Now, just while you're on brunch, Smashed Avo, is that a thing over there?
I don't know. I'll update you. I don't know if it is. I wonder if all the millennials over here got smashed for Smashed Avo. I'll find out in about an hour's time, I guess.
Oh, you don't simplify your breakfast. Go out this morning, but back to simplification.
I will be. Yeah. So I'm personally a massive fan of it. I actually created this thing that I've just gone through my wardrobe with, and it's a 7, 5, and 3 rule, which is on this premise and on this theory that you never need more than 7 of any forms of clothing. So I've gone down to having 3 suits basically, because also it's quite nice at the moment. You don't have to wear them. 7 t-shirts, 7 pairs of underwear, 5 business shirts only, because even when we do go back to an office world, you're only in the office for 5 days. And I think it's actually really nice, because I bought a new shirt the other day, but it meant that one shirt went in, which means one has to come out. So you don't end up hoarding a heap of stuff. You know exactly what you've got. And there is just some, general simplicity of it. So I'm a big fan of it, but I know plenty of people that are on the other side.
Yeah, people seem to think more is more. I'm probably more leaning towards the less is more. I'm not sure I could go with 7 pairs of underwear and 7 pairs of socks, 7 t-shirts, etc. But I wouldn't be far off that. Funnily enough, I'd probably wear that amount of things. It's just rotate a black t-shirt and a white t-shirt. I'm very much one of block colours fashion-wise. Yeah, because I'm the height of fashion. But yes, have you gone as far as, bidding goodbye to your old clothes and, rolling up your socks, the Marie Kondo sort of theory, or is it literally just, okay, I'm just going to stick to what I need?
Yeah, I've watched, actually, because of lockdown, I did watch like 2 episodes of Marie Kondo's Netflix thing. I haven't gone as far as like, thanking my possessions and that kind of level, because I don't know, all power to those that do it, but I just think
couldn't think of anything
less is more.
I couldn't think of anything more weird than bidding goodbye to your jocks. You've served me well, jocks, by encasing my penis for the last few years. I wish you well on the rest of your journey into landfill.
Exactly. But I think, like, we've moved places. We're in just a simple 1-bedroom place here in London. And we moved 2.5 weeks ago, and it's all now furnished, because there's not excessive space. There's not a desire to want a heap of things. You become much more, I'm a big fan of it, because you become much more conscious of your purchases, which also has a secondary effect on, the environment, which I'm obviously a big fan of that stuff, and sustainable energy and whatnot. But yeah, I find that I'm much more conscious on my purchases, which may be saving me money, probably isn't, because I'm just probably buying more expensive, better quality stuff than more quantity. But you get very selective in being able to say no, and I think that gives you a bit of just mental freedom and a bit less stress in, say before COVID, what was a very manic and stressful time for a lot of people, which is what drew me to going down, a bit of a path towards being more minimal and more simplistic and so forth, a few years ago.
Yeah, fair enough. You've inspired me now. We have a green bag here where clothes are going to be collected for charity on Tuesday. So I might just go and throw 3/4 of my wardrobe into there after we've pushed stop on this recording.
And I should preference, like, that's 7 pairs of underwear. That doesn't include like my sports underwear and that kind of thing. So because I only need 5 of those because of those.
And your fancy underwear.
and the fancy,
your mankini, does that count?
I don't know that I've got a mankini, but
no one should. No one should.
No one ever should.
No, I try to simplify things as much as I can as well. Like I simplify like what I do with work. Like I don't have an office as such, which has turned out really well now. Working from home, like I'm set up to do what I do. So I simplified things with regards to travel. I've simplified my fitness. I have a cross trainer in the garage, which I've had for 2.5 years now. And I've got some weights in there. That's all I really need for that, as well as some fresh air and doing some running. I try to simplify the food stuff. There's a couple of cookbooks which I use, which is sort of 5, because I do the bulk of the cooking in the household, which is sort of a 5-ingredient cookbook, and another one which is simple recipes. So just try to simplify that side of things. And then like today I cooked enough food for tonight and 3 or 4 nights this week. So yeah, with regards to food prep, I was just getting as much
very organized.
Yeah, it's just actually made a bowl of spaghetti bolognese because of coldish sort of night here. Just made a massive batch, added some grey box to it, and that turned into a pie. So just simplifying things around cooking as well, just to simplify time and save time and all that sort of stuff. So like I've
Yeah, I
I've
think
got
most men would be pretty simple with cooking. Like you have your 2 to 3 stock standard go-to meals. That does make life a bit easier.
yeah, as long as you don't, you should be happy enough eating similar sort. I'm happy enough eating the same sort of food 2 or 3 days in a row. I don't really care. Like, it doesn't make any difference to me. I'm not gourmet as such. So those sort of things
Mm.
don't really worry me. And broadly, like, life's good. There's certain other things you'd want to simplify a bit more. Like, I don't really want to have to go through, when my partner like is looked up all these clothes online and wants my opinion. Can I simplify that somehow? How do I simplify that? Can I outsource that?
I think that's an outsourcing, not a simplification.
I have to
But
look
I,
at
I
it.
did find like when I really looked at it, especially this year when I decided that I needed to trim work and business stuff and get more focused and clearer there, it was a real thing of looking at it going, there's like 5 things that are all going good, but they're not necessarily going great. And I think, I don't know, time will tell, but I think for things to be able to go great, whether that's work, career, time with family and that, you do need quality over quantity, which is a big driver of the simplification. But I wonder, I mean, I'm a fan of it. You're a bit of a fan of it. But what's the downsides of it? Like, men are challenged with many things in modern society, and I think a lot of that is just too many things. Too many accounts, too many Facebook things, too many just competing priorities to deal with. But simplification may be the answer to some of those. But I'm trying to think of what's the actual downside of it in terms of do you maybe miss out on things because you are too simple, you don't have gourmet food experiences because I stick to like the same 7 meals every week.
Yeah, but then you go out for
Uh,
brunch, or you can always choose what you want. Like, you can choose where you simplify. You don't have to simplify everything. You can choose the areas that you want to
mm,
simplify. Like, I'm probably not going to go down to 7 pairs of underwear, or 7 pairs of socks. I'd also, preface that by saying, I won't throw my mankini out my sporting underwear either. But you just pick the areas you want to simplify, I think, because if everyone wants everything in every particular sort of aspect of their life, then you're just going to be, overrun and overburdened as much as anything. So pick the areas where maybe that doesn't matter to you. So you simplify in that particular area.
mm, yeah, because I don't, and I think one of the things that maybe that Americano piece went possibly goes a bit too far is that there are some things that you do want excess of, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Um, so like you said, actually choosing things to simplify. I just what I found and the real benefit to it was that, the things that you have are actually the things that you either use or the things that you like is what I've found. Not just shit that you've got because you had it 3 years ago. And the less stuff that you have, I've found as part of, the minimalism and simplification thing, the less stuff you have to worry about, the less space that you actually need, the less, like I know a lot of people that move houses, or they just simply, maybe buy a bigger house and just fill it with shit that winds up in landfill. So there's, there's a simplicity that comes with just having less.
Yeah, I think when I moved house the first time, I could literally fit everything I owned, apart from my golf clubs, in the back of my car. I wouldn't be
Mm,
able to do that now, but if I took just what I needed, I probably still could. So it's that needs versus wants. And I'm really big on needs versus wants. Like, there's certain things you need. There's a lot of things that you just simply want and you don't need. So I think that's the sort of the turning point, and you might want it, and you can, if that's an area you want to prioritize and not minimize, just get it, but just have to really focus in on the things you really need versus the things you just kind of want, mainly to impress people. To quote from was it trains? I think it was from Train Spotting, or Fight Club. You just try to impress people you don't like.
yeah, I love that. You buy shit that you don't need to impress people you don't like.
Yeah.
But I found one of the plus sides, and I think a few people are finding that with this whole COVID thing and finding more joy in simple pleasures is that because you're a bit more conscious of it, the things that you want, and like you said, if you're not trying to have excess in every aspect of life, but you go, there's two things that I really want, excess with. When you're a bit simpler and you're a bit more focused on that, you can splurge pretty comfortably on those things, and know that you're doing it because you want to, as opposed to because you are just doing it, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. It's a 10x series, isn't it? Like kind of go, I'll take baseline of that, baseline of that, baseline of that, baseline of that, but I'll 10x that area because I love the shit out of that.
Yeah, definitely.
So basically just going, I'll just spend as little as I can on the things I don't really care about, but the thing I really care about, I'll put good money towards that, and probably more than other people will, because that's the stuff that I like.
Yeah, 100%. Let's check in on that in 20 years, depending on what my watch collection looks like by then, and then whether I regret all the money that I'm going to spend on that.
Well, as per the Daddy Eats Last, pact, Powerball got to more than 50 million last week. So I bought a ticket in the $80 million draw. I didn't win, but I won $18.49. So I don't know what we would have been able to do with that, because I wouldn't have been able to fly us all to Vegas, because we wouldn't have cleared quarantine. I have to spend 2 weeks in quarantine there, two weeks in quarantine on the way back. But I still went ahead and we did that. So we could have splurged on something.
Pick up the Rolex that I want.
Yeah.
for my upcoming birthday.
Yeah, but again, this is a really good time to focus on stuff which is important in your life, and if there's things which you find important, focus on them and just cut all the rest of the stuff out. Like, there's that much noise going on at the moment, like that much noise and that much rubbish going on in the world. Now's a good time to unplug and switch off and just focus on sorting some shit out in your own life.
It is. I think it is one of the gifts that this whole shit show that is COVID is giving us, if we look at it that way, that it is a gift to kind of sit back, make things a bit simpler, reassess, do you really need all the shit that you have, and use this time as a good opportunity to change some of those habits.
Yeah, no, I agree with you at that, mate. And on that, I'm going to go clean out my wardrobe right now, and you're going to go splurge on brunch.
I certainly am.
Right, that'll wrap it up this week for Daddy Eats Last. Remember to subscribe to Daddy Eats Last on iTunes if you haven't done already. And while you're there, please leave your review. Remember to listen next week. It is episode 100. We'll be raising the bat, assuming we don't run ourselves out this week. Episode 100. So tell your mates about the podcast. Tune in next week. Most of all, thanks for listening across the last 99 episodes. And we'll be back next week for episode 100. That'll do. We'll catch you then.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.